but I want Vergil Ortiz next. And if we can't get Vergil Ortiz next, I heard that Baby Cub was calling me out too. Charlo, he can get it next. Fundora, what's his name? Baccarat, Bartram.
You want to fight the best? Boots, come over here.
That's right. Let's go, man.
All right, so that you answer the question. Is this the fight that you want next? Vergil Ortiz against Jaron Boots Ennis.
I think this is the fight that has to happen, man. I think this is it.
Suitable for Vergil Ortiz, Jr. What do you think, Ennis?
Well, we all know Boots doesn't want to fight Vergil.
Vergil Ortiz Jr. is targeting his own promoter, accusing Oscar de la Hoya of sabotaging his legacy, defining fight with Jaron Boots Ennis. What was meant to be a generational clash has turned into a heated battle over boxing politics.
The only thing I can tell you is that I thought the fight was made, and then it wasn't. There was a yes on our side, and it just wasn't made. I mean, I really don't know the specifics of it, but I just know what happened on their side.
Tensions peaked during a marathon 6-hour negotiation meant to finalize a March 2026 showdown. Ortiz and Ennis had already delivered their iconic face-off, promising fans a fight everyone expected to happen.
Ortiz, is the needle moving positively?
Supposedly, I mean, Eric Gomez's positive comments from Thailand is that we're gonna hopefully get it wrapped up in the next week or so. I certainly see the back and forth between Ortiz, with him and with Boots on their social media. You have Vergil's manager Rick Meridian getting involved in the whole thing. I like Rick a lot, but he's very excitable. He fights tooth and nail for his guys, so I get where he's coming from. I've done this for such a long time. I always try to maintain, calm, cool, and collected. Don't get too excited. Don't get too down. This is making the sausage. You know what I mean? It takes time, and people get all crazy when shit's going on, when they're in there making the fight, trying to get it done. Everybody has things to say about it. I like to let the process play out. I think, especially based on all the comments from both sides, how much they want the fight, that it's going to get done. And we'll see this very, very outstanding matchup in the early part of next year. I think it's going to get done.
As the hours dragged on, negotiations turned hostile, ending in a stalemate. Rumors suggest the financial offer for Vergil Ortiz Jr., 24, undefeated with 22 knockouts, was far below what a high-stakes fight of this magnitude should command.
Has reported that there's some complications in finalizing the deal between Vergil Ortiz versus Jaron Boots Ennis. Yet it has nothing to do with Golden Boy Promotions having problems or issues with Matchroom Boxing, who promotes Boots Ennis. Golden Boy Promotions, Oscar de la Hoya, Eric Gomez promotes Vergil Ortiz. That the issue is that Vergil Ortiz's manager and Golden Boy Promotions, Eric Gomez and Oscar de la Hoya, have their issues. That's what's reported. Now, Rick is a prestige manager in the sport of boxing, one of the best managers in the sport of boxing. And both of these guys are wonderful fighters, phenom in the 154-pound division, and many think that this is the primary fight at 154-pound division. Yet, we cannot neglect that we could have seen this fight a while ago. But Jaron Boots Ennis declined. He ducked a lucrative offer when it was on the table by Turki Al-Sheikh, which everybody loves because he has been a great addition to the sport of boxing, right? He has eliminated the hiccups in the sport of boxing. But I think because now that Turki Al-Sheikh and everybody knows that Turki Al-Sheikh is giving that bag, not everybody is really trying to be greedy, maybe. Not everybody, but maybe people trying to be greedy, in which now we've seen a couple of hiccups in which we wasn't seeing in the beginning. And where Turki Al-Sheikh wants to make fights. But one of the guys that been ducking Turki Al-Sheikh purses in the past has been Jaron Boots Ennis. He did duck the Vergil Ortiz and the Teofimo Lopez purses. And Eddie Hearn has publicly stated that these were lucrative offers. The most money that Boots Ennis could have made, right? So how are we going to point the finger now, or the gun, at Vergil Ortiz if they're not trying to finalize the deal with Jaron Boots Ennis? Yes, I want to see that fight. Yes, it's one of the primary fights in the sport of boxing.
The silence ended when Vergil Ortiz Jr.'s manager Rick Meridian went on social media launching a blistering attack on Golden Boy Promotions. After Eric Gomez announced a March 28th fight in Las Vegas, Meridian fired back, questioning the financials. Ortiz's team is reportedly demanding a minimum $10 million payday to face a dangerous opponent like Jaron Ennis.
Asking for, publicly, $10 million to fight Boots or greater, right? Because it could be 10, it could be 11, 12, 20, right? But they need at least bare bones minimum to get 7 zeros. You need $10 million. In the words of Damon Wayans, 2 snaps and around the world. Hated it. I hate when fighters and teams do this. For one, this manager, is he pulling the strings like he's talking? That's why Boots was like, yo, manager talking crazy, right? He making it sound like he above Golden Boy almost. He like, don't send us nothing unless it got 7 zeros with it. You know what I mean? So that, to me, that's a little bit weird, right? You talking like you Golden Boy or something. Like you the end all be all and you got veto power to veto whatever. 2, let's say that's your price. Why are you tweeting and texting and posting and responding publicly? None of the fans is going to come up with that type of money, right? So speaking to the fans on social media is not a good method. You have to negotiate. You have to see if Turkey, I mean, he's the one that would probably pay the big money for the fight. But you do that behind closed doors. I am not a fan of people trying to negotiate through the public. It's just like, where they do that at? What is the point of doing that? The fans, you're trying, it's like you're trying to, I don't know, because I didn't do it, so I can't really speak on the rationale. But to me, it's foolish, because that's what negotiations are for. Negotiations should be completely and utterly behind closed doors. You name your price.
Ortiz and his team aren't just after money, they're demanding respect, which they feel Oscar De La Hoya isn't giving. Some in the boxing world speculate that Golden Boy might be blocking the fight to protect their last major star. After losing Canelo Alvarez, and with Ryan Garcia exiting soon, Ortiz is the promotion's final superstar, lost to a dangerous opponent like Jaron Ennis could collapse the house of cards, leading some to believe the high price is a protective measure rather than just a business decision.
Ortiz has to obviously win. And he's focused 1,000%, as I am too. I mean, I'm focused 1,000% on making sure this event, goes on and we take it to the finish line. And people are talking about Boots Ennis and they're talking about Vergil Ortiz and my gosh, let's make that fight right away. Well, we can't make a fight until Vergil Ortiz wins. That's just the bottom. I don't work like that, I don't like having fights already made when they have the job at hand to take care of on Saturday night. Yeah, I welcome Eddie. I welcome Boots Ennis to see who the very best 154-pound fighter is, and that's Vergil Ortiz. I welcome them. I mean, it's a great show. When you watch Vergil Ortiz, you're always going to get an exciting fight. I'm just afraid that if Boots does see him in person, he's going to shy away from the fight.
From a business standpoint, putting Vergil Ortiz Jr. in the ring with Jaron Boots Ennis is a high-risk gamble. Boots is fast, a switch hitter, and possesses one-punch power that can end a career. For a promoter nearing the end of his run, losing your last big star in an unwanted fight is a disaster. By lowballing Ortiz, Oscar De La Hoya may be trying to quietly collapse the bout while maintaining plausible deniability, appearing to push the fight publicly while his fighter protests privately.
When it was time to say yes to fight, I was the only one that said yes. So now you have a lot of people that were saying that I was ducking at 147 when there was no fight to be offered or anything like that. The only times that the fight has ever been offered to either of us, I have said yes. So when people are saying ducking, when they align that word with me, I'm not talking about if they want to align it with him, they should. I don't care about that. But they want to align it with me, then they can't say that because I said yes. So if there's any other questions, bro, I'll happily answer them.
Yeah, and Vergil, you just mentioned that Jaron Ennis, right? You said, well, he has a couple of titles, whatever. And I like hearing that. I know Max does. We don't care about the titles on this show. And I give you a lot of credit. We've heard people try to discredit you by saying that you've never been a champion. But to me, it's a lot more important to have real names on your resume. Guys like Madrimov, you're fighting Lubin. Tell me why it's more important to you to fight quality opposition and to grab these paper titles.
Look, at the end of the day, people are going to watch the fights, right? People are watching the fights. You can put a title on. They could have put a title on that last fight that Jaron had against I'm not sure. I don't want to disrespect him. I don't know his name, but they could have did that and said he was a champion. They also did that with Zayas.
Lima, yeah.
So it's just like there's no credibility behind.
Tensions continue inside Golden Boy. Jaron Boots Ennis isn't waiting. He's reportedly shifting focus, targeting the winner of the January 31st unification bout between Abbas Boo and Zondiza. Major setback for anyone hoping for a March showdown with Vergil Ortiz Jr.
Boots Ennis, who has 35 wins, no loss, no draw, 31 wins by way of knockout, is now shifting his attention away from the showdown that everybody was calling for, the fight he got in the ring and pressed and pushed for with undefeated WBC junior middleweight interim world champion title contender, Mexican star boxer Vergil Ortiz Jr., who has 24 wins, no loss, no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout. This because Vergil Ortiz's team, his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy Promotions, have no interest in making this fight. His manager have no interest in making this fight. And Vergil Ortiz Sr., his father, has no interest in making this fight. Vergil Ortiz is interested in making the fight. His team has no interest in making this fight. Absolutely none. Okay, and I'm sure they're doing everything in their power to convince him to go in a different direction. With that said, Vergil Ortiz is looking to be the mandatory for the WBC to win a Keith Thurman, Sebastian Fundora fight. And Jaron Boots Ennis, according to what I'm being told. And shouts out to my brother L-Dub Boston, the Boston Plug, because he's the first person that brought this to my attention, that Jaron Boots Ennis is now focusing on the winner of Xander Zayas, who is the WBO junior middleweight world champion, Puerto Rican star boxer, 22 wins, no loss, no draw, 13 wins by way of knockout, as Xander Zayas is going to take on the WBA junior middleweight world champion, Abbas Baru. They're going to fight January 30.
Jaron Boots Ennis camp made it clear, if Golden Boy won't sign the fight, they'll pursue the belts elsewhere. This pivot shifts the narrative, with critics now pointing fingers at the promoter rather than Boots, while Ortiz remains stuck in promotional limbo. Boots is focused on his upcoming fight and future opportunities. He's committed to making a statement in the ring before turning attention to potential mega fights that could define his career.